The big buses are what I think we're not doing.
School board.
Yeah.
Go for it, school board.
Okay, welcome to the East Hampton School District Budget Night. Can I have a motion to open?
I make it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the
republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think that gets harder to do every time. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Zoom is so hard. Okay, thank you, everyone. We have three tonight. We have the transportation, we have technology, and then we have the custodial.
Yep.
So I'm going to turn it over to the superintendent now.
Joe, our director. Oh, perfect timing. Hi.
You want Chuck to go first?
Yep. We're gonna start with our transportation department with Mr. Joe Lopani. He's entering now, and we're gonna put you on the spot right away.
You seem to always want to get rid of me first because you're going to say something wrong. I can guarantee I usually say something wrong.
Joe, we can keep you here all night if you'd like.
The long drive.
We were very partial to our customers from Montauk, so.
Yeah, exactly. So not to, I don't want to slow the process down or speed the process up. I want to make sure that we're just very to the point. And if there's anything in the budget for this year that you want to point out, and I'm pretty sure there is, as far as bus purchases, that's something the public should know about. But other than that, if you want to point out your highlights, Joe, and then see if the board has any questions.
All right, the highlight of the this year is through our last 8 years of bus purchasing, the way we went, we can skip a year.
Good.
Wow.
And you're comfortable with that, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely, because we're basically 6 months of non-use, so we gained a half a year of, non-use on our vehicles. So it really isn't any type of factor at all to skip to at least 1 year.
Okay, good. That's a help, I think, for this year, considering where we are with other things.
And Joe, I know you're always concerned with the weather and humidity, and the mechanics are able to keep the bodies of the buses in good shape.
We're doing the best we can. Once we get a little more room, we can start doing some more rust repair.
Okay.
We keep it to a minimal right now because the equipment that we have in storage is just way too big for the area that we're in.
Got you.
So we'll start taking care of that, next year. There's only small areas that have to be replaced and repainted and just general maintenance. It's like owning a 10-year-old pickup truck on, Montauk. It's going to have a rust hole here or there.
Yep. So that's really great news, Joe.
Yeah, the bus road's going along nicely too. I drove by today. They were doing some drainage and septic work. It looked like they're actually moving, so it's nice.
Yeah, next year, do we anticipate being allowed to put more kids in the bus than we have?
No, too early to determine. We're hoping, yes, but too early to determine.
But right now, we have enough buses to put it with the present limit.
It's tough. Thank you to Joe and Joel and figuring it out, but they do double up some runs, but yeah, it's tight because we have some drivers who are quarantined, and you add that to some that are calling in sick. It's every day is an adventure, let's put it that way.
Absolutely.
Can I ask a question, please? I read in the paper the other day that McCoy was going out of business.
Saw that.
Yes.
And that, Montauk was going to purchase their fleet at the end of the year. Don't we use McCoy for some of our overrun things and sports runs, or maybe?
Montauk, we do Montauk.
We used to, but we not at this point, Jackie.
Okay, so that has no. I just was questioning. That has no impact on us. We don't do any contracting with McCoy at all.
We're hoping maybe to gain a few drivers. That would be a positive impact.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to double check on that, and I also just wanted to double check with some of the programs that we just sort of looked at the BOCES line there. And some of the programs, in particularly the culinary program and others, do we anticipate any reduction in the BOCES line of transportation?
I think it's going to pretty much stay the same because of the other programs. For the first year, I'm not, Joe, you don't really break up the BOCES kids as per program, it's just destination really, right?
It's pretty much, yeah, we try to, generally the only areas that are mixed would be the BTC, BAC, and Sequoia. They're in the general same area. We sometimes try to make that work. The timing, the dismissal, and the start times are a little different. Sometimes it's hard. Obviously, the more programs we can put on one bus, the better off we are. We try our hardest. And then we have some issues of some students really need to be not in a fully loaded bus.
Yep. So Jackie, the part would be we would probably limit the number of buses we might need going, because we, like, in a sense, minus those culinary kids from the bus ride. So it might be one less bus. That's a possibility, but too early to project, really.
There's still going to be some BOCES programs that
Yes.
our kids are always going to want to take advantage of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank you. I was just curious about that.
Okay, the other things that we're finding that we need to have expenditures are yearly software subscriptions. The buses are getting so complicated now. 10 years ago, one software package took care of the whole bus. Now we're finding like we need 3 to 4 different software packages to work on a bus. So those subscriptions, generally run $500 to $800 a year. So that's pretty much a little different this year than last year. Last year we had to pull it out of some other parts of our budget because it was something that we didn't anticipate until we got the later model buses. Fuel fuel, your guess is as good as mine. I'm figuring it's going to average $2.50 a gallon. I think $60 a barrel is what everybody seems to think that the standard's going to be. So I think we're good there.
Everything else in the budget was good.
As far as drivers and what's going on for September, well, Rich summed it up pretty well. Until we have every driver vaccinated and we feel comfortable what's going on in the school district, we have to, do what we have to do. And that takes extra drivers.
How are you doing with that, Joe? Just as are drivers getting vaccinated? Where do they stand?
They're doing the best they can, because since we're so short-handed, people have made appointments that they actually said, well, I'm going to cancel it because you need me. And I said, no, don't do that, please.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little, what really is hurting is sports.
Yeah.
The transportation part to sports is really, really getting difficult.
Yeah.
I don't have any good answers for that. Every other school district, I would say almost confidently, on the island is in the same boat we are.
Yep.
And can you describe that a little bit more, Joe?
Well, everybody, if you're only putting 30 students on a bus, and you generally rely on, say, 44 to 54 on that route, you're putting more buses into service to complete your dismissal and your pickups for the morning. So generally the sports teams, they go about 2:30, and that's like right in the middle of the high school, middle school dismissal. So everybody's in the same boat. A lot of people don't want to drive a school bus right now. It's not a job that, a lot of people are signing up for, because, A, I don't want to be with a bunch of.
So that might be better for them in general.
Whatever that noise is, whoever's like putting their fingernails on the blackboard.
Try to lower the shade so that the sun is out of everyone's eyes.
Okay, thank you. Like Sarah and I are going like, oh my God, you're killing me.
Now I can see the screen. I couldn't see it.
That's fine, as long as I know it's ending.
Sorry, guys.
No, but thank you, Joe. Great job with the budget, really.
And, everything else is pretty much par for the course. That's the way it's going to be, and that's the way I try to keep it. It makes life easy for everybody.
Joe, what year what year is this for you?
8.
8th year?
So you and I are like right in the same.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
That's calling my name.
So are we participating in that, camera thing with the?
Oh, I'm
I know
sorry.
this was
I should have brought you up to
because I
speed
can see that-
on
I
that.
talked to Joe about it.
Yeah.
With the stop cameras, they started installing them, and I put them on pause right now. I wasn't quite happy with what was going on with the installations. So I had a meeting with the person in charge of the installations. Actually, the team that he had doing our buses is no longer with them. We're waiting for this upcoming week when students aren't around. We could actually concentrate on getting these buses done. They were trying to do them in the night, at night. It's 20 degrees a couple of nights. They were rushing. We'd come in the morning, there'd be screws all over the parking lots. So I just said, now this is not working for us. Let's rethink this.
Good
So,
good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Joe informed me, and I totally support
Okay.
it.
They need supervision. They definitely do.
Yeah.
Because 5 years from
Are we
now,
going to be taking part in
We
that
will be.
program?
We will be, when they're installed correctly.
Right, okay.
We don't want
How many
any
buses are
problems
done?
with the electrical
Right,
system and all
right,
that.
yeah, no, I
they have to
agree.
go through all.
But who actually gets the revenue from that?
Cables
Who's responsible?
going
Like,
over,
it's just our
sheets
cameras are just feeding the information
Yes.
on drivers that are passing the school bus.
Yes, it's something,
And then it's out of our hands?
Yep.
Okay,
I don't even believe the cameras that are on the buses now for the districts are actually functioning yet. They have to get you set up and get, give you a notebook, a notepad, I should say, to actually run the system. So that's going to be a little bit down the road. I'll inform everybody as soon as it's done. They probably have about 12 buses done already.
okay.
We're going to have to revisit those 12 buses and then start from there. So I'm hoping by the end of break, they'll all be done.
Good.
but once it's all set up and running, it's not intrusive to you guys? It's not like,
More work
You
for
have
you.
to
That's
drive
what
more
she's-
work.
Is it more work? for you?
Well,
like you have to
I'm
be
not quite
downloading things
sure.
to the county, or is it
I'm
just
not-
when you're?
honestly, I'm not quite sure. I did read the contract. There is a clause in there that says that they need a maintenance person available, I believe it said.
Mhm.
So I'm sure if it's like a camera's ready to fall off, they'll request us to, repair it.
Has this been mandated by the state?
No.
No.
One opt-in.
Suggest-
I think every district
Yeah.
Every
opt-in.
district is.
Almost
opting in,
everybody
yeah.
did. And it makes sense. I mean.
The overall idea is a good idea. The
Yeah.
implementation and
It's good, it's definitely good.
the works of it, who knows,
Right, the devil's always in the details, but it is.
And if it doesn't work, they can
Yeah.
have their cameras back, but if it's
Right.
gonna stop people from not going around school
Yeah.
buses.
Joe,
That's our
do you
Yeah.
hear many cases where cars are going around school
Oh,
buses?
absolutely.
They are,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah, a
Is there-
lot of,
that's horrible.
there's a lot of people that just don't understand some of the rules of the road. And you drive every day, so you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Some people just don't have a lot of time driving. If I live in Manhattan, I don't use a car a lot, and I come out and start driving.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little different,
People that stop in the middle of the road and stay there.
These things happen. Generally, it's not too bad, but yes, we do have people going
Okay,
through stop signs.
not good.
Thanks,
Joe,
Joe.
please, thank you again. I appreciate all the hard work and
I would just like to say one thing to everybody. This is on behalf of the transportation team. We sincerely like to thank the district administration, the school board, and the town for getting us through this tough year. We really do appreciate what you did.
Thank you.
Thank
Well,
you.
but then again, Joe, you gotta accept our congratulations
Correct.
for the bus drivers
And
and the transportation department for getting us through this year.
Yeah.
Works both ways.
Appreciate it, and
We
just
support
wanted-
you because you support us.
We just wanted you guys to know that
Thank you.
it wasn't something that we
That means a lot, Joe. I
didn't really
appreciate it.
pay attention.
I know there's a lot of people out there nervous about what's gonna happen and that's it's a tough thing.
One
Still a
step
little
at-
about what's happening.
Yeah.
When you know what's happening, let me know, because I don't think anybody knows. It's
No, I
just
don't.
crazy.
So, Joe, you're more than welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but you also have the availability.
thank you.
All right, I'm gonna head back to the promised land.
That's right. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
Joe. Thank you.
Good evening.
Take it
Sure.
easy,
And you
Joe.
know, the virus has made everything, education, so much harder for everybody.
Yeah.
But it's the virus.
Yeah.
And the fact that
Virus.
Have a good night, Joe. Take care.
it's
Thank you,
good.
Joe.
It's really
Take
good.
care.
It is, it's the bottom line. I think now, Chuck, we're ready for technology, please.
Excellent.
And I think just,
Same rules.
same
Same
rules.
rules.
Thank you.
All right, so basically, the big changes obviously were with, all the challenges of COVID, just, we went from a 5th grade till 12th grade one-to-one initiative to putting Chromebooks in every classroom from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. So we also this year rolled out a number of cleaning devices which use ozone to clean the Chromebooks for the elementary school because it's too much of a challenge for the teachers to keep up on which Chromebook is being used by what student. So we have a system now in place for them to roll out the devices if, say, a class needed to be quarantined, like an entire class, that we could, issue out those devices, send them home with them, and we'd be able to continue instruction.
That's great.
So, it is really great. And it took us a long time to get there. This budget would have been less. I mean, it's a little bit less than it was last year by minute amount, like $1,000. But we have purchased Chromebooks in the past at a significantly lower rate than we're purchasing
And
devices
then
now.
doing that, I'm sure.
And I don't think that's going to change. The last time I purchased a Chromebook that was $245, and that was the bottom educational pricing. And I know there's a lot going on with chips right now and getting chips and things like that. And even some places are like kind of shutting down because they don't have the technology to make the devices. So they'll
Well,
shut
demand
down
is
areas.
super high, I'm sure, too, so.
Exactly, and it's going in everything nowadays. So it's like the demand is incredibly high. So if we don't have those things coming in, then our prices go up. So that is really why the budget is basically where it's at right now. The biggest increase is in my materials and supplies, which Chromebooks fall under that category.
Yeah, I see you have some bunch of laptops in there too, which you need for this year, but you need them more than ever now. I mean, thank God we have what we had going into this, and we were on the right track for the last couple of years. Because there's so many places that weren't.
We've
So,
gotten very lucky.
Yeah.
Last year, I budgeted for 370 Chromebooks at $180 each, which is $66,000. And
Right.
this year I'm budgeting for 500 at 250, and it's $125,000. So, my hopes are I'm going to be able to find a good deal out there,
Right.
a quality device that we could get at a lower price, and then maybe even get additional hardware, because we're struggling right now. I mean, we're literally like, we have to fix them and give them back. We're at the point where we don't have new ones to
Spares.
issue.
Right.
We don't have spares at this point. I mean, the spares we have are dated, and we
Right.
don't want to issue
There's
those out.
spares
unless
because
we
there's
have
nothing
to.
else to do with it.
Right, and a lot of people already are using equipment that's 4 or 5 years old.
Right, which is not the plan.
Right, it wasn't originally the plan was at the end of the 4th year, that device would be retired, but
Right.
we're glad they were still working. We're grateful for the kids that turned them in good shape,
Right, right.
because they're going out to other students and they're still
Good.
being used, so. Yeah, so that was the big difference, and
What is the CUCM upgrade year 2?
Yeah.
Is that one of the things
Saw
that
that
was in
too.
our,
yeah,
that grant that
it's a 3-year lease, like, which we'll own at the end. That is our Cisco call manager. The Cisco call managers and the phone system we installed happened after the trailers in the front of the high school. Before the high school rendition was done, we had the fire, and then we moved to Panago. We first came to the high school, we split out amongst the buildings, and then district office rented the Panago location, Panago Road.
Yeah.
And right where Turtle Crossing was, and
Right.
so anyway, that location, when we went there, we put new phones in there, and we expanded that system throughout the high school because we had very old archaic phones and we were paying a fortune for phone lines at the time. It was like $77,000 a year or something with Verizon. It was ridiculous. So we cut down on that by going to, a voice over IP system. And then those phones have lasted us, now, like the phone on my desk is 12, almost 13 years old. So, yeah, so they've really done very well, but we've been updating those. So, and even those, we had to wait. We ordered those months and months ago. They just got them at the vendor has just received them.
Right.
And now they're being configured so they can be dropped off and put into place. So that process is, in order for us to be able to financially handle that without having this big spike, we just broke it up into 3 pieces and we're able to fit it into the budget without an increase.
And then there's the camera system upgrade and the installation of those cameras. Is that?
These are just little, like implementations. The CCSI camera installation is just not the entire system, but what we'd like to do is replace the actual hardware that we're using right now. The hardware we're using right now was installed when the cameras were first rolled out, and those servers have been updated and updated. This money is allocated to actually use that same camera systems, but have it go into a new system. And the new system would have better software and more features and functionality. And then we would replace cameras as they go out, which is what we've been doing. We have a camera fail probably every month.
Oh, really?
Sometimes 2 a month, yeah. So we've been replacing them all year long. So as they die, we put a newer, better, camera in that place. But, everything was pretty much adequate. So for the area already. So we're upgrading as we go. But this is for the backbone of the camera system.
Okay.
Any other questions from board members? Everybody good?
If anybody have questions about how it's broken out, the 2 budgets?
Well, while we're talking about it too, Chuck, thank you. I mean, if you think about where we were this time last year, like Chuck was sitting in his car out front handing out Chromebooks. And, that was a big deal. And thank you. Like you talk about everybody adapting to their environment and adapting to this pandemic. We appreciate it. Thank you.
You're absolutely welcome. I want to always be part of.
I think we're trying to get you to fix a Zoom thing. Like, I think he's in his car, so like, get up from his car, he comes
All
back.
the panic calls.
Yeah, but talk about adapting and sort of having some forethought going into this, increasing our bandwidth and doing things like that happen. That this is not necessarily what we did it for, but boy, it came in very handy.
Thank God we did,
Yeah, it's just perfect timing.
And you hear of all the connectivity problems in other districts and, in certain areas we have that, but that's not our issue.
But it's not on our end.
It's the town.
We could have been more fortunate.
Always, maybe we can give you that sign, on the plywood, Chromebooks delivered here. He used to cart that out, rain or shine.
Yeah.
And Chuck was always, Chuck, can you take a day off, Chuck? No, I have some customers coming tomorrow. So thank you.
You're very
Really
welcome.
do appreciate
I'm glad that I
Wasn't all the
could
panic
do it.
with the parents in the beginning? We had to have the help desks and you had to
Yeah.
set that up and, have people manning that for the first few weeks of school. I mean, that was.
Yeah.
We have an incredible team. I mean, between George and Luke and Brian and now Sal, who just started with us like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, we've really have a nice system now, and the guys really work well together.
That's great.
Everybody's working well together. Like it's just become like synergy, and it's really nice to have that.
Nice to hear.
Because we things just get so much better when we can work in that way.
Yep, you're not kidding, Chuck. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Heartfelt thanks, Chuck.
And
Appreciate
you
it.
reward you going early if you want, so.
Thank you. I
Thanks,
appreciate
Chuck.
that.
Thanks, Chuck.
We'll try not to call you. I think we're okay with Zoom.
Right. Thank you. Which part of the custodian want to start? Well, I'll let you go ahead, just tell us where you're going.
Yeah, no problem. I think we'll go high school because we're in the high school.
Okay.
High school first, and then, all right, so high school budget, the custodial budget, the high school, just small increases in cost pretty much. Everything kind of stayed the same.
Okay, Chuck, thank you.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thanks.
Take care.
Small increase of $3,000, which is nothing, just for costs. So everything kind of stayed where it was. Prices of things are going up, not down, as Chuck just said very eloquently. So that's where we are at the high school. Again, $3,000 increase, nothing really to write home about. Just a small increase in costs on the high school. On the middle school, a little more increase in costs. So what we're doing with the middle school, we like to do with the middle school is, we bought those hypochlorous machines. With COVID and everything like that, we had some more products that we were using to kill the virus and everything else in the staff. So the middle school uses a lot of it, and they enjoy it, they like it, and it works really well. So we're gonna get them their own machine, because we had the machine here, and we had to transport.
Like a fogger, one of those type of things.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great, yeah.
So we're,
Yep,
want to get them their own.
yep, makes sense.
We would like to eventually have one each every building.
Yep.
But we don't know if we can do it at the elementary school, because I'll get into that in a minute. So that's the difference there, for the middle school. The other thing, for the middle school.
Duct cleaning.
Looks like the painting of the,
Yep, thank you. The painting of the auditorium. They were
Right.
trying to get this done last year, but with COVID, we put it on the back burner, because again, we didn't know what was gonna happen. They'd like to add it this year, and we should be able to get that completed.
And the seats, when are the seats going in?
The seat's gonna be a summer job, so
Good.
it'll be over the summer.
Okay.
They wanna start July 1st.
So that, it sounds like the painting should go first, then seats go in.
Right.
Okay, good. Yeah,
That's on-
they need an update there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a
Broken and-
Yeah.
of a lift, yeah, a little bit of a lift. That's on the elementary school, and then the middle school, the elementary school. Increases on the elementary school, is the elementary school library, which we have discussed in facilities. That's actually the main cost, with the elementary school library. Everything else stayed the same. Everything else is just a slight increase in cost, because you know, Riverhead Building Supply costs are gonna go up. All the bids that we have, vacuums, this and that, energy, propane, just added a slight increase in cost there. And the only other increase in cost is the light. That's on the elementary school. I'll save the big one for last. So on the HVAC, which is the maintenance of plant HVAC.
Yep.
Again, small increase in cost, $9,000, just because to make sure we're gonna be covered for when Home Depot prices go up, and Blackman Plumbing, and Granger, and
Right.
all the
Parts
companies that we
yeah.
use. Yeah, we had to increase it slightly just to cover ourselves, in case those costs do go up. So that's only $9,000 increase there, so not much there. And then on the last one, which is the grounds, under the grounds department, it's not just grounds, it encompasses the whole district, what they call it grounds. This one is where we added, I know in the beginning, earlier on, we didn't know what was gonna happen with the COVID, the pandemic and everything else, right? So we wanted to increase Tony's codes. We asked everyone else to cut a little bit here and there. Chuck's code stayed the same because we need technology, because as we can see what happened. So on this budget, we added about $250,000, what I call for pandemic costs. You don't know what's gonna happen next year.
Right.
We're planning on opening September, hopefully a normal opening. But again, when the wintertime comes, what's gonna happen? We don't know, is it gonna come back? We're gonna have the flu, is it gonna be
Right.
a different strain of the virus, something like that. So we gotta prepare for this, as we prepared like with Chuck's department. So I added the increase in cost and what we saved on the other divisions and departments. We added the cost here onto this budget just to cover us.
So that money did not disappear that the department's cut. You reallocated it for here just in case we have another.
so we might do some transfer of funds if pandemic costs hit us in any way.
Right.
Correct.
But
Or don't.
you have the
Or don't.
$250,000 cushion to deal with that.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
we need it.
And it's just in this budget because this is the one that, the custodial budget's technically that
Yeah.
That's where all
encompasses the
the
entire
costs-
district instead of each of the individual buildings.
Right, all the costs will come out of the.
And it can be allocated to each building.
Right, that's what, yeah,
correct.
but it's the appropriate
No.
code.
Yeah.
So it's a central clearinghouse for all those
Right.
things that are
Exactly.
needed. Makes sense, which we had this year, frankly, and we don't,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
I just have one question, it was on the equipment. The Jacobson mower that says was replaced this year?
On the grounds?
Yeah, for 64,000, that was the year before, no? That was a couple, I thought we did that like 2 years ago.
Jacobson mower, that was 2021, and then they want to get one more for, I guess, they reduced the cost to 25,000.
Yep,
It's not gonna be an 11, I guess, foot.
but it's gonna be another machine for mowing?
A small, yeah, it'll be another mow machine,
Okay,
on that one.
okay.
But it'll be a small, so the price is gonna be, it's gonna be a regular, smaller lawn.
Right, and then they adding a tractor to it too? So
We
it's
wanna
50
add a skid steer.
Yeah.
Again, it'd be a small, it's really more of a part for the skid steer.
Okay,
Because we have, with the plowing and everything, there's
Yeah.
a little bit
Yeah.
of problems that we had this year with the plowing. They want to get another part. So they should have put skid steer really.
so it's like a plow or something that goes on the skid steer?
Yeah, and you can just
Yeah.
pull off of and then put
Because
back
we
on.
bought that a couple years ago too, I don't think that's that old, the skid steer, if I'm not mistaken, the one we had
The
was
skid
bad.
steer itself is.
It's
yeah,
okay,
this is-
that's
yeah.
okay.
Okay, all right, just making sure I
No,
understand it.
Yep.
Correct.
Good question.
I don't have any questions, anybody else, anybody at home have a question? No? All right,
Good.
that's, okay, so I'm gonna borrow this and my glasses just so I can read it properly, so Carrie doesn't. Okay, so can I have a motion to enter, to adjourn this meeting and enter into executive session to discuss employment history of a particular person?
I make the motion.
I'll second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Matt, we are done here, so we're gonna, everybody's gonna, Keith, are you gonna send a separate?
Yeah. we're gonna do it.
I sent the separate email. You should have just gotten it about 10, 15 minutes ago.
Okay, I'm leaving to go there.
Yes,
Okay, we'll
Thank
see you
you.
then.
leave to go there. Perfect.
Bye, guys, thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you.
everyone.
Good night.